for those of you who were paying attention yesterday to what they were reading, it was the story of Abraham. The parsha is called Lech Lecha, and this is the story of Abraham leaving from his father's house and going off and making a name for himself, so to speak. And then it talks about him and his wife, Sarah, and their struggles to have a child, which they finally end up conceiving.
How about to be seated?
Yeah, you can sit. You don't need to stand. So this portion really has it has a lot of obvious connections to the marriage ceremony and the marriage service, and I just wanted to sort of touch on a few of those that kind of struck me. For me, this is my true first day of joy. Yes. Of kind of making it out on my own. That this is the day.
So smart.
All right. Okay. So I'm cutting the umbilical cord. I'm done with him, and all right. And
That's by the way, you're supposed to sort of do some of these things. You know?
yeah. So
He's trying to talk, and then it's make a little bit of fun.
So other things that they were talking about. One of the big things is that to me, this marriage isn't just about Nikki and I, but it's really about being connected to a greater sort of tradition. And one of the big things in this parsha is that God is talking to Abraham and telling him that his children will be like the stars in the sky. And to me, that really strikes a chord, because I am one of those stars in the sky, right? I'm one of the descendants who's a star in the sky. And then the kids that Nikki and I have, and the grandkids, and those grandkids, are just more of those stars in the sky. So it's it helps. It helps to kind of feel connected to all of that. And then just the last thing is that in this parsha, they talk about the covenant of the halves, where Abraham makes a covenant with God, and in this covenant, he's to take a cow, a goat, and a ram, and he has to cut them in half and separate them, and then walk through these two separated halves. Yeah, a little bit, yeah. And, oh good, the cantor's here, fantastic. That's a good part. Yes. And so he separates the two halves, and he has to walk through it, and this way they make a covenant. And so it's really symbolic of having, of how two halves don't make a whole when they're separated. And really marriage is the same way, where you have these two halves, and when they're just two halves, it's not the same as having these two things all in one. That, basically without Nikki, I'm just a cow's ass, so to speak. So. Oh, okay.
All right, we have a couple here. All in the family,
and so with that, I'd like you to just raise your glasses, I guess, and I hope you enjoy the day.
This is the ketubah, marriage contract, and it's written in Aramaic, which is the legal language of the Jewish people. The Talmud is in Aramaic, and ever since Talmudic times, the ketubah, which are the legal obligations that bind the groom and the bride together, is written in Aramaic. In the bold areas is where a local scribe, filled in the date, the names, of respective names of the bride and the groom and the parents and so on and so forth. I'm not going to translate the entire contract, but I'll give you the bottom line. The bottom line is that if necessary, you will mortgage the shirt off your back.
Not if necessary, when necessary.
That the truth is that it's a legal contract, but it's probably the most beautiful love letter ever written, because in it the groom pledges to love, to cherish, to honor, to respect, and to support his bride forever and ever. And that becomes the number one priority in his life. So everything has been filled in except for the fact that you have acknowledged and taken upon yourself the responsibilities and obligations stated herein, which will presently be done. And it will be witnessed by 2 witnesses, because any legal transaction in Jewish law requires the testimony of 2 witnesses who will sign on the bottom. This is a form of transaction. I'm going to ask you to raise it in your right hand. You're going to legally acquire this. This is like legal tender, and with it, all of the obligations herein, okay?
Okay.
Now, if you want to give it back to the cantor when you finish, that's fine too, but you become the legal owner of this as well as bound to everything that's stated in here, okay? So,
I'm watching.
I'll give you a chance, you know.
I'm just giving you a second chance. This is the moment of truth right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so Cantor Baumgarten and I are witnesses to the fact. Okay, you raise it in your right hand. Okay, you can hold on to it, you can do whatever you want with it or give it back. I'm now going to fill in.
Hold on to it. Hold on.
Under the chuppah, under the wedding canopy, at which point it will be given to the bride and kept in safekeeping for all eternity. Forever. In the bowl, here is the date, the names of respective names of the bride and the groom and the parents and so on and so forth. I'm not going to contract, but I'll give you the bottom line. The bottom line
You're right.
that, you know, the truth is that it's a legal contract, but it's probably the
Yeah.
invite the groom, Thomas, to perform the veiling over the bride. In keeping in the Jewish tradition, we invite the groom, Thomas, to perform the veiling over the bride, a tradition that traces itself back to biblical days when our mother Rebecca first set eyes on her husband-to-be and veiled herself as a sign of modesty and exclusivity, that the two were destined to become one, and she and he to forever be exclusively devoted and loyal to each other. But there is yet another reason that the bride is veiled before the chuppah ceremony. It is so that the groom forever remember that the beauty with which she radiates and glows and shines today is not merely external and superficial, but she radiates with an inner beauty, innocence, and purity. A bride and groom on the day of their wedding are as innocent and sinless as a newborn baby child. And so, Thomas, the groom, will remember that throughout life, the physical form and appearance inevitably changes, only for the better. But the love is only constant, is ever constant and ever growing. And it is also a reminder that the bride that you see today may not always be the person you discover when you're married. As our patriarch Jacob thought he was marrying Rachel and married Leah, Rachel was his wife of love, and Leah was his wife of fate and of destiny. But today in Nikki you have both. The wife of love, the love of your life, and the wife of fate and the wife of destiny. But should inevitably things turn out to be at some fleeting moment not quite what you anticipated, today you say, I'm committed to every part of you. What I see, what I don't see, I will cherish and love every part of you. You have a deal? Okay. We'll now ask the groom to perform the veiling. Baumgarten will now formally welcome the bride and the bridal party to the chuppah ceremony. C major, please, from the band.
Mi bonsia shoyshan khoykhim avas kalom besois loirim mi bonsia shoyshan khoykhim avas kalom besois loirim yevorech es khoson es khoson vi esakalo mi bonsia shoyshan khoykhim avas kalom besos doirim mi bonsia shoyshan khoykhim avas kalom besos doirim ay hu yevore es khoson es choson es hakalo uyevorech es choson es hakalo.
The chuppah ceremony will consist of two parts. The first is what we call the erusin, which is the formal betrothal, followed by the nisuin, which is the formal wedding. In beginning the ceremony, we will recite a blessing over wine, the traditional beverage of choice, with which we sanctify every occasion. And it's because it takes a lot of effort to extract juice out of wine. And because in life, often what is most meaningful, and particularly in a marriage, is that which requires the most effort. We will begin with the blessing of Borei Pri Hagafen and invoking the name of God and the sanctity that He bestows upon this holy matrimony. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei Pri Hagafen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kidishanu b'mitzvo yesod v'tzivonu al ha'arayos v'yosar elonu es ha'arosos v'hitir elonu es ha'nesuos elonu Al yidei chuppah v'kiddushin Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh amo Yisrael Al yidei chuppah v'kiddushin Father of the groom, please come forward, give the groom and remove the wine. The mother of the Kala, the mother of the bride is invited to come forward. Give Nikki. David Klein, brother of the groom, the very best man, is asked to come forward and produce the ring. I'd like to call forward two witnesses who will witness the placing of the ring by the groom on the forefinger of the bride, which legally formalizes their union as is required and prescribed under Jewish law. The wedding band that we use is simple, unadorned, undecorated, reflecting the innocence, simplicity, and purity of the occasion. And a ring is the object of choice, because if you look at a ring, you can also see it as a link. And with this ring, not only do you link yourselves to each other, because you may think that you first encountered each other somewhere in cyberspace, but the truth of the matter is that you walk down this aisle, two separate people, now you become one. But spiritually you always shared the same soul. And so this ring symbolizes your coming together. And as a ring has no beginning and no end, it represents an endless and enduring relationship. And you should enjoy an enduring, permanent, and eternal love that has no beginning and no end. The witnesses are asked to first inspect the ring, that it has the prescribed value necessary under the requirements of Jewish law. Make sure that Thomas didn't go away too cheaply. Okay. Shavakutta? Yes. Okay. He wants the box. Okay. It's a good omen to being next. Okay. I'm going to give the ring to Thomas, who's going to place the ring on the right forefinger of Nikki. Before he does so, will repeat after me the words, the formula with which you are formally bound and consecrated. Hare, at, Nikudeshes, li, Betaba'as, Zoi, Kedas, Moshe, Yisrael. Listen. The words that Thomas recited, translate in English, you are hereby formally betrothed to me in the tradition of Moses and the Jewish people. This completes the first part of the ceremony. At this time, we are going to read the ketubah. The ketubah contains within it the contract and the obligations that the groom obligates himself to the bride. And although it's a legal contract, it is in fact one of the most beautiful love letters ever written. I'm going to read it in its original Aramaic, which is the legal language of Jewish tradition. Listen, your attention, please.
Sorry.
I know you took Aramaic in college, so you can understand every word. Be'echad b'Shabbos, Arba'a Seyayim L'Chedesh, Marchesh B'Shnas Chamesh V'Salofim L'Shva Meis V'Shishim V'Arba L'Brius Eilam, L'Minyan Shanamein in Khan, Boca Raton, Florida. Eich HaChosin Yaakov Ben Michal, Amas Moshe V'Yisrael, V'Anoifach V'Eikid Wiesel V'Afanis Sechileche Kilchus Geben Yudoin, D'Flochen Meiken V'Zon Mefanis in L'Shein B'Kushtal, V'Hivne Leiche Marichi Zuzi Meya, D'Chozi Leiche Mid Rabbanon, Umezovziche V'Choseisi V'Sipeche V'Miyal Leisi Ke'edach Kolada V'Tzvois, Mora Saragolda Itzadol, V'Havis L'Ninto V'Dine Dunya Danayla Lemi Beinosha, Bein B'Kezer, Bein B'Zol, V'Bein P'Tachshitin, B'Monu D'Levusha B'Shemusha Dira, B'Shemusha Da'arsa, Kel Kibel Alav Yaakov Chosen Dinan, B'Chamishim Skukim Kesef Tzodef V'Tzov Yaakov Chosen Dinan, V'Hisif Lamandilei, Eid Chamishim Skukim Kesef Tzodef, V'Chein Kineg M'Sachakel Mea Skukim Kesef Tzodef, V'Kach Omi Yaakov Chasad Dinan, Achrei Stark Subosada, Idun Yedin V'Sefta Kiblos Olai. Ba Yarsi Basrai Lisporim in Kol Shefer Oreg in Chosim Kanin Nachreis, Vidoleslein Nachreis, Kolhein Yehein Achrein, Varvoin Ifreya, Min Hein Stark Sabose da Miduni Din, Frisefte da Minoi, Vafilo Min Glima Dal Kasvoi, Bechayai, Obose Chaim in Yema, Nam no Lol Machreis, Stark Sabose da Miduni, Frisefte da Kiblo of Yaakov Chatsandin, and Kichem Kostorik Subis, Frisefte is the Nagim, Bneis Yisrael, Asuin Kitikin Chachamen, Zechem Levracha, Kalokis Machta, the Blake Tese, the Star of Kanina, Man Yaakov Ben Michal, Chassandin, and Moris, or the Golda Bas Moshe Mendel, Itzuda, Al Koma the Kosov, and the Father Steel, the Mona, the Mona, the Kosher, the Mikonya Bay, Vakil, Shore, Vikayim, Noam, Rovin, Ben Menachem Mendel, Aid, Noam, Yerachmiel Ben Shimon, Aid. Briefly put in this ketubah, which is now yours for safekeeping forever and ever. The groom basically wrote his entire life away. To quote the language from the ketubah, even to mortgage the shirt off my back. To protect, to love, to cherish, and to honor. I like that. I'd like to share a few words, not that we haven't already, with the groom and with the bride, and with all the family on this very special occasion. Yaakov, for those who know, is the Hebrew name of the groom, and Sarah, Golda, is the Hebrew name of the bride. Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah tells us that if you want to know someone, it's all in the name. When Kenta Baumgarten walked down the aisle, he sang the beautiful words that we say every morning in prayer. Matovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkanotecha Yisrael. How beautiful are your tents, Jacob, the dwelling places of Israel. I just want to tell you something. You look down this aisle, the white carpet extends that far. But walking down this aisle today, not just the two of you, not just your parents, not just the grandparents we're blessed to have, but walking alongside of you are the generations of Jews before you, who lived and died, so that in this very day, in 2003, two young, beautiful Jewish peoples who come together in holy matrimony and establish your link in this golden chain that goes back thousands of years. We stand under this canopy and all four sides are open. And that is in the tradition set by the father of you and me and everybody here, Abraham, whose home was open, whose tent was open to all. Because when you're establishing a Jewish home, we are acutely aware that we must live for a cause that transcends our own selves. Our home needs to be open, a place to share, a place to give to others, a place to emanate light to the world. But too much of an open home can also create vulnerability. And that is why you, Nikki, began the ceremony by encircling your 7 times, creating a protective fortress around him and around your home. And this is the way the Torah describes the beauty of the tent of Jacob. On the one hand, it was open, but on the other hand, it was protected, and it was modest. And so today we celebrate a new tent of Jacob, a new house of Jacob that is both open and at the same time secure, strong, with a foundation of Torah and of the mitzvot. The name Sarah is the name of the first Jewish woman. We just read about it yesterday in the Torah. And God turned to Abraham and he said the immortal words that every Jewish husband has remembered ever since. God said, Abraham, everything that Sarah tells you, just listen. quote verbatim straight out of the Bible, straight out of the Torah. It is because Sarah is the mainstay, is the pillar, is the foundation of the home. You together are joined by your parents, by grandparents. 3 generations join us here today, and I have to tell you that according to Jewish tradition, up to 5 generations of ancestors join the family at the chuppah. But this is the first generation born and made in America, on the groom side. And it is the 3rd generation that validates the first. Abraham wasn't sure whether his legacy was going to live on until Jacob was born. Because when there is a link, when there is a chain that has 3 links, it'll never be broken. So today the 2 of you take your place in the family of Jewish people and the responsibility that goes with it to build a Jewish home. May God Almighty bless you with health, with happiness, with love, with unconditional acceptance of one another. May you be blessed with children and grandchildren for generations to come, and may this truly be, and I know it will, and I know everybody here knows and joins me in wishing that it truly be a golden link in the glorious chain of the Jewish people. Amen. Amen. We're now going to, no, it's not over yet. I'll let you know. We now proceed to the second half, which is shorter than the first half of the ceremony, in which 7 blessings will be recited. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam meborei pri hagofel. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakoil baruch lichevoidoi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yoytzeir havodam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher yotzar es Sodom b'tzalmoi b'tzelem dmos tavnisoi v'hiskin loi mimenu binyan adiyad baruch atah Adonai yoytzeir havodam. We'll call upon Cantor Baumgarten to recite the final 3 blessings.
Sois tosis visogelo akoro Bikibutz boneho lesoecho besimecho Baruch atah Adonai mesameach Tzion bevoneho.
Amen.
Samachti samach Reimu ahovim Yisamecha cho yetzirecho Began Eden Mikedem Baruch atah Adonai mesameach choson v'chalom.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher boro sosoin v'simcho חוסן וחלו גילו רינו דיצו וחדבו אבו ויחבו בו שלום ורעיו ויראו אדוני אלוהינו ישמע ביורא יהודו וחוצויס ירושלים כל ששון וכל שמחה כל חסון וכל קהלו כל מצלויס חסונים מחופוסום וניורים ממשתי נגינוסום ברוך אתה אדוני משמח חסון עם Amen.
Now call the father of the father of the bride and the mother of the groom to respectively give Thomas and Nikki the wine. Yeah. And now. We conclude the ceremony with the traditional breaking of the glass. We are acutely aware that as we celebrate today, our joy is incomplete without our restored Jerusalem. And it also reminds the groom and the bride that whenever anything breaks in the house, the thing to say is, Mazel Tov.
Yerushalayim tishkach yemini imeshkachech Yerushalayim tishkach yemini tidebak leshoeni lechiki imlai eskirechi imlai ale es Yerushalayim al rosh simchosi im lo yale es Yerushalayim al rosh simchosi.
Mazel Tov! Need the two witnesses.
Simmen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simmen Tov, Simmen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simmen Simmen tov, mazel tov, simmen tov. Yeheilanu, 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 Olechol Yisrael, Yeheilanu, Yeheilanu, Olechol Yisrael, Yeheilanu, Yeheilanu, Olechol Yisrael.
They have to go.
Congratulations.
Bride looked beautiful.
So I asked somebody that was sitting near us if this was
Hi. Congratulations, Nico and Thomas.
I couldn't go back there.
Must have two seats then.
What table are you at? You want to do what, too?
I used to be the captain of 6 years.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Beautiful wedding. Thank you very much. Hello. You caught us.
It was a wonderful occasion.
And he's all about obtaining the public good. He ruled by force. He didn't have any sense of...
הגעתי את מייק בלונדון לפני 20 שנה.
Oh, right now. That was horrible. Mike, there's incriminating evidence on this video that you need to edit out, please.
Thank you.
Who caught it?
It was amazing. It was whenever I looked at
I mean, it was just so lovely because I remember we went
nice stuff about you. I'm really glad you could make it happen.
Come on, Jude, get in the picture. There we go.
Tell Michael Gross the lamb is excellent. It is the best.
Are we on video?
It's all about table 19. 19. Table 19. Congratulations.
Well, I have to tell you that
We're taking pictures.
We're going to take a picture.
Hello. We had a wonderful time. We had perfect weather, and we couldn't be happier.
the sunset was gorgeous and the thunder signaled approval from above.
Congratulations, Nikki and Thomas. Enjoy the rest of your life together. Well, he's recording. You gotta say something.
This song.
It's a message here. It's from Romania, this young man.
Where's Alexia?
I thought we did that.
Oh, congratulations. Congratulations.
I did. Thank you.
Smile.
Can you get a little closer to
Nick, look.
Something happening to me. There is something I would like you all to see. It's just a photograph of someone that I knew. And you see my wife, Mr. Jones. Do you know what it's like on the outside? Don't go talking too loud, you cross the landslide, Mr. Jones. I keep stringing my ears to hear the sound. Maybe someone is digging down the ground. Oh, have they given up and all gone home to bed? Thinking those who once existed must be dead. Have you seen my wife, Mr. Jones? Do you know what it's like on the outside? Don't go talking too loud, you cross the landslide, Mr. Jones. In the event of something happening to me, there is something I would like you all to see. It's just a photograph of someone that I knew. Have you seen my wife, Mr. Jones? Do you know what it's like on the outside? Don't go talking too loud, you cross the landslide, Mr. Jones.
Nicky and Thomas, the new Mr. and Mrs. Klein. Sirs, bride and groom, relatives and friends, it is with great pleasure that Yvonne and I welcome you all here tonight to celebrate the marriage of Nikki to Thomas. It's only a couple of weeks since we celebrated Alexander's bar mitzvah, which was truly wonderful. Some of our family had to return home for the interim period. What with the jet lag, most of them don't know if they're coming or going. But at the last count, they're all here tonight. It has been said that the best thing about distant relations is in fact the distance, but not by me. Indeed, we are truly honoured that so many people have travelled so far to be here tonight. You can applaud yourselves. We have guests from all over the States, England, Costa Rica, Panama and Israel. And I must add that Israel is forever in our thoughts during these uncertain times, and I'm sure we all pray for peace. I'm especially delighted to have both my parents here this evening and look forward to December the 1st, when they are due to celebrate, listen to it, 65 years of marriage. A lifetime. I also warmly welcome Yvonne's mother, Patricia. On a sadder note, I must say how sorry we are that Yvonne's dear father, David, Uncle Joe, Auntie Dory, Judith's parents, Bertha and Vass Florian, and Mike's mother, Piri, are no longer with us. Having 4 wonderful children, all with individual characters, whom we adore, Yvonne and I are not new to making simplers. However, this is our first transatlantic one, and we have found certain differences do occur. For instance, a florist in England makes a flower arrangement. In America, they make an event. Which we found out when we had an appointment to see a florist's work. We arrived at the hall expecting to see a couple of table arrangements, and at the most, a sample pedestal. Instead, we entered the ballroom to a royal trumpet call to find several members of staff wearing medieval gowns dancing their way around an indoor botanical garden. There was so much going on that we weren't sure if they'd started the party without us. With the help of our friend Tony Page, England's answer to Trump, with a better accent I might add, and a lot less arm movement. Also Andrew Macy, the catering manager of Boca. Andrew, where are you? Andrew? Hi. There he is. And most of all, my wife, Yvonne. This wonderful evening has been beautifully orchestrated, and I thank you all for your hard work. Speaking of Yvonne, it is tradition that the husband should say some lovely things about his wife. And what I would like to say is this. Seriously, Yvonne is the most amazing mother to Guy, Nicky, Amy and Kimberly, and a best friend to me. We do argue sometimes, but that's normal. As always, she looks wonderful tonight, doesn't she? Yes. Excuse me, mate. Thank you. And so to Nicky, the blushing bride. You come a long way from the baby that will cry every time we left the room and get louder and louder until someone came in. You wanted to go to art college in the States, but we insisted that you could only study in America if you were accepted at a good university. We thought that this might be quite a challenge, but true to your nature, your sheer determination to get what you want proved us all wrong. And so today, a few years later, I see you radiantly happy and looking so beautiful as you begin a new chapter in your life as Thomas's wife. We had always hoped you would find Mr. Right, but even better than that, and fulfilling every Jewish mother's dream, you found Dr. Right. I remember the afternoon when Thomas called to ask my permission to marry Nicky. I was so choked up with emotion, and I'm sure you won't believe that. I started crying, I was unable to speak. I left poor Thomas hanging on the phone in silence, waiting for a reply.
Aww.
Eventually, the woman who was standing next to me said, for goodness sake, say yes. Thomas, at the time that we have known you, we have seen you to be a charming, sincere, reliable person with a clear idea of what you want from life and how to achieve it. Not only that, you can cook. Yes, you can cook. More important than all these qualities is that you obviously make our daughter very, very, very happy. We welcome you into our family, together with your dear parents, Michael and Judith, your brother David, Mike's father, Karoli and Anna, all of whom have shown us such wonderful hospitality. I can't finish without mentioning another new and very important member of the family, CJ the Chiweenie. For those of you that don't know what a Chiweenie is, and don't be embarrassed, I didn't, it's a dog. As far as I'm concerned, any dog that has its own social life, including parties at home, wears a tuxedo, and carries an umbrella, deserves a mention. Finally, I would like to thank everyone here for coming and appreciate that without you, tonight would not be possible. I'm sure you would all like to join me in wishing Nikki and Thomas every happiness, success and good health for the future. So please relax and enjoy the party before it turns into an unforgettable memory.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Deacon. I'm delighted to have flown from London to be with this fantastic party this evening. I regret I have to remind you that smoking is not permitted in this building anywhere.
Could make you feel true, could make you move. Oh, you can decide just to be right, thinking of you. Some others I've seen might never be me, might never be crossed and try to be bossed, but they wouldn't do. For nobody else could give me that thrill. When the rough comes, I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you. It had to be you. Never be crossed, they try to be lost, but they would do. For nobody else can give me that thrill. With all your faults, baby, I love you still. And it had to be you, wonderful you. It had to be you.
dream for a more perfect day. Also, I'd like to give a special thanks to Nikki's parents, Mike and Yvonne, and Thomas and my parents, Mike and Judith, for doing such a magnificent job in planning this entire weekend. A lot of what you see here today and this whole weekend wouldn't have been possible without them. I'd also like to especially thank everyone for being here and enjoying this great day and weekend with us, and especially those of you who traveled far. We really appreciate it, and I hope you're having just as great of a time as I have, and I hope you have a great night tonight.
Yeah.
And finally, I think we should all sincerely congratulate and thank Thomas for picking such a great best man. Yes, I am the best man, and in case you guys haven't met me yet, I'm Thomas's little brother and Nikki's new little brother-in-law, David. The three of us, and over the past couple of years, we spent a lot of time together. It was spent sitting down to eat at our favorite all-you-can-eat sushi buffet, or chasing around our two dogs, Corey and CJ, short for Corey Jr., or laughing our, well, as Nikki would say it, bums off at our favorite comedy club, or even discussing a new strategy as to how to beat the next level in the newest video game I just got. Regardless of how our time together was spent, being around Thomas and Nikki has been such a memorable experience for me, and I only recently figured out why. Being only 16 years old when Thomas and Nikki started dating, I had never really seen two people totally and truly fall in love with one another. And although I'll admit that at first it was kind of awkward for me to be around them, it is now such a comforting experience to be around the two. They opened my eyes up to why they were, why they are, and why they will continue to be so dazzled by one another. I now know that what they have is truly very special indeed, and they have given me something to hopefully look forward to in the not too distant future. Nikki, I feel obliged to officially welcome you to the Klein family, even though it's a family that you have been such a magnificent part of for such a long time now. You've brought us your warmth, your wit, your beautiful smile, your kindness, your love, so many other things, and the entire Klein family hopes you continue to do so for many, many years to come. Thomas, the great Isaac Newton once said, "If I have seen farther than others, it is because I have stood on the shoulders of giants." Well, throughout my life, you've been my greatest giant, my greatest mentor, my greatest friend, and most importantly, my big brother. Thank you for everything you've shown me along the way. I really could not be happier for the two of you today, and I wish you the best of luck as you two continue your lives together, and you continue your journey through life together. And now, if everyone would help me thank, congratulate, and toast the newlyweds, Thomas and Nikki, to a great wedding and a great life together. Here's Thomas and Nikki.
Would you kindly stand? The toast is the bride and groom.
Here's to Thomas and Nikki. Here, here.